Thank you everyone for joining our November webinar, Direct Response Selling on Facebook. And specifically today, we're going to be talking about using Facebook offers to increase sales and gain repeat customers. So just a little bit, just so you know who you're talking to, my name is Amol Waishampayan. I'm the Digital Creative Director here at Stream Companies. And after the webinar or during it, you can actually email me at amol@streamcompanies.com if you have any questions or if you want to have any follow-up conversations after the webinar. We'll also be live tweeting from our Twitter handle, which is at Stream Companies. As well, you could also tweet at my personal Twitter handle, which is at AMOLBIGW, and I'll take a look at that again after our webinar. I would also encourage you guys to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Streamco. We have a great community and a great insight into a little bit about who Stream Companies is and the people who work here. And lastly, of course, we have a great website here where you can actually check out a lot of free stuff that we offer, including checklists, other ebooks, guides, and past webinars, which you can actually replay. Another thing that you can do if you're active on Twitter is to use the hashtag Streaminar, and that's STREAMINAR. You can take a look at that, and again, that's something that we'll be monitoring during the actual webinar. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today compared to what you might be normally used to seeing. And I'm actually going to first talk about what I'm not going to talk about. And the things that I'm not going to be talking about are, why you should be on Facebook, why you should be on social media. This is definitely, an advanced workshop, is an advanced webinar, and I'm definitely not going to be covering some of that basic material. I think everyone here on the webinar understands that those things are important. It's part of the customer process here, no matter what industry you're in. So I'm not going to be talking about that, but I will be talking specifically about how we actually look at the sales funnels through it. Another thing that I'm not going to be talking about today is the endless and overwhelming social media statistics that I'm sure you guys are used to seeing all over the place. And the reason I'm not going to is, again, because I think you guys know that. I think you guys know that the trend, the graph is going up. We know that more and more people are using it. I don't want to keep talking about all these different statistics as to why it's important. And lastly, what I'm really going to focus on here today is to make everything not complicated and not unnecessary, because I think some of those buzzwords tend to, I might sound like I know what I'm talking about just because I'm using the buzzwords, but I think it ends up making things a little bit more complicated for you guys. And I want to make sure that everything we talk about is as simple as possible. It's broken down as simple as possible so that it's something that you guys can actually, take away from this presentation. So again, now that I talked about what I'm not going to be talking about, let's talk a little bit what I am talking about today, those are things that you can actually do, and that's what I'm calling the social media version of direct mail. The direct response tactics that you can start doing tomorrow, and really how all these things fits into what your overall social presence should really be about. And second, before I get into those specifics, I'm going to talk very quickly about the story of how we came up with these things, because I think it's really important to understand our the insight as to why we thought of coming up with this tactic and why it's especially important at the stage that we are in the world of social media marketing. So very quickly again, what is the story behind it? I think what's probably true for, I'm sure, everyone on this webinar is that we want to stop talking about just likes, basic social media metrics that we look at, and even then, I think what happened was maybe a few years ago we said, okay, stop thinking about likes. Let's look at the website visits. How many people are going to our website? It's really, really important. But even then, I think our goal here at Stream Companies was, we want to get to some place that's a little bit more evolved, and we don't want to just talk about likes. We don't just want to talk about website visits. We really want to look at, how can we say we got you guys this much in sales, for our clients. So there was this thing that we've been searching for and searching for for the past year or so, and we said, how can we go above and beyond all this to get an idea of really what we want? And that's really what we kind of call like the holy grail. The holy grail of this of the perfect digital marketing advertising technique allows us to say that, hey, it's not just about likes and metrics and website visits, but you actually grossed this much revenue, or you actually got sold this many products from this one activity that we did. Another kind of insight that we pulled from, and this was one of the unique things about stream companies, in the sense that because we're a full service advertising agency, we had the benefit of being exposed to all kinds of traditional marketing as well. And one of my favorite pieces of traditional marketing is direct mail. I think it's one of the best go-to things that you can do on a monthly basis when it's done right. Because you can say, look, I spent $20,000, whatever, $30,000 on this fantastic direct mail campaign, and from that campaign, I got 75 calls from that campaign, and from those 75 calls, I sold 30 different products, or I set up 15 different appointments where I made money. So you can then look and say, okay, well, was it worth the 20,000 that I spent? Did I make a lot of money from all the products that I sold? Just as an example. So we said, is there a way that we can take that traditional model from direct mail and bring that into the digital age? So kind of while we were thinking this, and we're searching and searching, I think nothing great is possible without partners. And one of our good partners is Facebook itself. And Facebook, we have a close agency relationship with, and it's one of those things where we do have a weekly call with them. We review some of our campaigns for all of our clients, and we feel that we have a very good relationship with them. One of the things that they did was they actually invited us up for a meeting in their New York City headquarters around something called Direct Response Bootcamp. And this was a great event that we actually went to. And this is really this brainstorm between us and directly the Facebook team itself is where we kind of got this idea of, hey, here's a fantastic way that we can start doing things a little bit more like the direct mail that we know is so effective. The other thing that we learned from this, from this session at the Facebook headquarters, is that they were thinking the same thing. And that was very validating to see that, hey, we're searching for this, and Facebook came to us and said the exact same thing. They're searching, for this way to be all about direct. They don't want to just be about likes either, because they know that eventually people are going to be like, what am I doing? Why am I spending all this money on Facebook? So they know that, hey, we want to work with you guys to figure out a way to prove sales. So, this was fantastic for us to learn together. And we said, why don't we look at some existing tools and see how we can use that? And one of the tools that was, I think, underutilized as a Facebook ad platform is something called Facebook Offers. And now, if you're not familiar with Facebook Offers, you may not be familiar with the name, but you probably have seen some of the offers, on Facebook itself. If you're on Facebook, you may have seen it in the form of, I think Starbucks and probably some heavy big corporations, use Facebook Offers to do like a buy one get one free coffee, or something like that went pretty viral. But it's not exactly like a daily deal like Groupon or Living Social or one of those things. But it is an actual offer or deal that is on Facebook and can get served to you, and you can actually click claim. So the goals here definitely are to increase sales. There's still the big social and digital component of it, in the sense that it gets people talking. People can actually claim the offer, their friends see it, then they see it on their news feed, and so on. And then, of course, the big holy grail piece there is that you can actually measure your success. People can actually press claim and redeem the offers. And what's great for us as an agency or as a marketer or as for one of our clients is that we can easily track that impact. So, what is direct response? Again, it's really just direct mail, but it's in a social setting. So, for your business, things to think about in terms of direct mail, what would you put in a direct mail campaign? It might be a coupon, for a certain percentage off, or for bonus points, or for buy one get one free. It could be certain incentives like that. You might kind of do like personal letters if you're more of a service-oriented business. You might have service letters that have the customer's name in them, so they kind of make them feel a bit more special. And I did see that we have a ton of automotive dealerships who have signed up for this webinar. Things that are automotive in nature in terms of doing like a free oil change or like a lease pull ahead offer or just a trade in offer. For customers for their current vehicle. All right. So again, we talked a little bit about this, but you can easily track it with a unique UPC code, which I'll go into in a second. You can also redeem it online. So you can say, look, I want to still point people to my website because I have a form on my website. You can definitely do that. The other key thing here is that you can actually limit the amount of claims. So if you're doing like a fantastic 50% off deal or buy one get one free deal or something like that, you can actually say I only want to allow maybe 500 people to claim this offer, or maybe you want 5,000 people only to claim this offer. But you can definitely control the amount of people that actually claim it, and that kind of creates some urgency around it as well. So here I just took an actual screenshot just because I wanted to, I wanted you guys to be able to see what it looks like when you're actually creating it because I think it's very interesting. Here at the top you actually see a redemption link for your web address, for your offer. You can actually choose a different type of promo code or whatever you want to put in there. You can actually put in the claims limit like we were just talking about. And there's this pretty cool thing at the bottom there called a reminder time. So when a user actually presses claim on the Facebook offer, they actually get an email in their inbox from Facebook, and then it has all of your businesses and your brand's creative, the incentive in it. It has your brand's visuals and everything in it. And you can actually say that, hey, you can say to Facebook, hey, for people who press claim for our offer, make sure you send them a reminder email to say, hey, make sure that you use your coupon before it expires, at a certain time. And so you can actually set this reminder time email when you actually go ahead and create it. So here, just to help illustrate to you guys, what this looks like, we took a sample direct mail piece here, and this is in the automotive world, but this is a general trade up New Jersey a direct mail piece, and normally, your first name would be kind of inserted here with the actual first name, and it has your year, make, model, and it says, you can actually get a good trade-in deal with this. So what we actually did was we took this very successful direct mail piece and we turned it into a Facebook offer. So you can see it's the same, creative, same brand. This is how it would live on Facebook. On the top left, you can see how it looks when it's in the news feed. On the right-hand side, you can see how it looks if it's on a smaller device, or here you can see if it's on your mobile device, how it looks. And here on the bottom left, you can actually see the email that you get. So in this email that you get, you can actually see the business creative here, the brand creative, your offers here. You can see that it says when it expires. You can put in this cool kind of barcode in here. And at the bottom, you can actually have any kind of disclaimers. You can say, when it's valid until, or that you can't combine it with other values. And, a lot of the things to make sure that, our incentives for our customers don't allow them to kind of take advantage of the system. The really powerful piece, I think, that makes this come together and matches it with some of the direct mail pieces is how we can then target this offer. I mean, the targeting of this offer is really phenomenal. And there's maybe 2 or 3, key ways how we can do that. One is through a CRM pull of your database. And, basically what that means is that if you have a list of your email addresses, we can actually integrate that list of email addresses into Facebook. And I'll go through that in a second. And that's a great way to reach either existing customers or exclude existing customers. Number 2 is just the current precise interests and keywords and geographic and a lot of the stuff that you might already know about Facebook. And that's some of the standard targeting that makes Facebook such a valuable platform. And then 3 and 4 are just examples of some of the big data integrations that Facebook has been doing, in the last in the last year or two. And here you can actually target people by Poke Data or by Datalogix and some of the other providers that they have. So here again, we were talking about custom audience. And it's really about how to upload a list. And here what you can do is you just take one CSV, it's like an Excel file formatted as a CSV and has all your email addresses into it. And I can actually go on Facebook and press upload and upload that list into there. So as an example, let's say that your store has about 10,000 email addresses of current customers, or maybe potential customers. I can actually take that take that list of 10,000 people and upload it into Facebook, and Facebook will say, hey, out of the 10,000 people that you just uploaded into my platform, about 9,000 of them are here on Facebook. Here's the audience. Do you want to target them? So some pretty cool way that we can actually integrate that. And then, just to give you an example of the kinds of lists that we might want to upload, we might want to do current customers. We might want to do, new sales customers. You might want to do current customers if you want to exclude them. Let's say it's like a phenomenal, 75% off deal of something, but you don't want to send it to people who already do business with you. Maybe you want to do it to acquire new customers. And so you can actually exclude people. Or you can say, hey, I want to bring recent customers back who shopped here within the last 6 months. So if you have those email addresses, phenomenal way to actually integrate with what you're doing on social. And the second kind of follow-up to that is something called the Mimic Audience tool. And that's something that's really phenomenal in how we find new customers. So in that example I just gave you guys, I uploaded this list of 10,000 people. Facebook said, hey, here's the 9,000 people that are actually on Facebook from your list. Facebook will then say to me that, hey, here's the 9,000 people that are on Facebook. Here's 9,000 more people who are exactly like those people. So basically what it does is it analyzes all the attributes and characteristics of those 9,000 people. And then it says, here's 9,000 more people from the same geographic area who are exactly like that. And this is the screenshot on my screen here of how it actually looks when you're doing that. And you can actually say, hey, I want to optimize it to be exactly as similar as possible to those 9,000 people. Or maybe, you want to say, well, I want to be pretty lax with, their characteristics. Just get me as many people as possible. And so you can kind of move the slider back and forth here. The other pieces that I covered were some of the precise interests. And you'll see here I put, it says NSA at the top. And that's because often when I speak to the power of Facebook's targeting, I often feel like the National Security Agency in the sense that, I can actually target anyone by anything that they've ever done on Facebook, any word they've mentioned, any interest that they've done, any likes that they've ever done, anything that they've interacted with. So, I mean, it's anything that they've ever done on Facebook, I can pretty much use that to target them. So here's just an example, of a keyword I typed in. If it was a Porsche, you can see that this is only showing some of the examples available, but there's like 20 or 30 different Porsche terms that people have actually talked about, and you can actually see how many people have mentioned this. Now, I haven't put the geographic targeting on this yet, so this is just saying that about 52 million people or so on Facebook have expressed an interest in pages that are related to Porsche. And then, once I nail that down to a certain zip code or a certain address, obviously it won't be 52 million, but you can see this is the base of how you start. And, there's a lot of things available. I just took Honda here as an example. Now it was actually, more about 5.7 million. You can do much more other than automotive. You can actually do surfboards. Let's say you're a certain type of surfboard shop, or you're a retailer that does a lot of beachwear. You can actually target specific interests. So again, this is just I'm just skimming the surface here. You can pretty much put in any keyword, and really go to town on how you're creating these profiles and targets. So here's just an example of one of the big data integrators, and that's Datalogix and Poke Data. And this is just one example of some of the big integrations that Facebook has done. And this is specific to automotive. And here what's great is that it uses Poke Data and Poke registrations to say, how can I target specific people who already own certain makes, certain models, certain intents, certain incomes? Are they in market, or are they near market? How much intent have they demonstrated? And these are the same exact attributes we use when we buy lists for our direct mail campaigns. We buy the list based on who has what kind of make, what kind of model, what their household income is, and a number of different attributes. So again, this is absolutely the digital version of direct mail in the sense that we can target people in the same way that we target and buy lists for traditional direct mail. So, okay, now I've talked a lot about the story of how we came up with this. I've talked a little bit about the process and the methodology and all the different features around it. I'm sure now you guys are very curious to see some of the samples that we have available and some of the work that we've done in the past, just so you can gauge how effective it was. So here's an example of a client, Kremer Eye Center, and here, we did get $600 off LASIK. See full offer for details. Here we had 45 people actually, claim this offer, and you can actually see that 22 people liked it. 15 people commented on it. Someone shared it with their friends. So even though it's kind of like an offer in the same way that we do direct mail, it's still very social and it's still very digital. So it can still kind of go viral. People can like it. It has that kind of more value to it on top of a traditional coupon you might send to someone's house. Here was a gym. A gym you would imagine, of course, would do very, very well. And this was invited to try 2 free weeks at Level 5 Vertical Fitness Studio. This one did phenomenal. It was just a 1-month campaign for 2 weeks free, and it had 314 people claim this offer. And again, if you look at the bottom here, you can see 136 people liked it, 40 people commented on it, 11 people shared it with their friends. And what's most phenomenal here is that if we look at the price here per claim offer, it's so cheap. Instead of spending $10,000, $15,000 or even $5,000 on a direct mail campaign, we're able to do that digitally now, and the cost is not even a tenth of it often. We're hovering between $2 and $7 on average per claim offer, depending on what industry and who you're targeting and that kind of details. And this is just a screenshot of these 40 people that commented on this offer. It really, I think, speaks to how this kind of thing goes off viral. Here you can see that there's so many people that just commented and just tagged their friends. They tag their friends so that their friends are exposed to it and actually can press claim as well. So a phenomenal way to see our kind of word of mouth here. If you get a coupon in the mail, you might go to your neighbor, when you're outside and you see them, you might say, hey, look, I got this cool coupon. Did you get it? Do you want to use it or whatever it might be? But here you can do that much quicker, much faster in a digital way. So here's an automotive example. Here it was a trade-up deal. You get $2,500 over your book value. It's a phenomenal deal. Here we had a 1-month campaign, and we had 80 people claim this offer. Again, we were able to target people who own certain makes and models, and that targeting came out very well, as we only had $5.11 per claim offer. And again, you can see how that looks on your iPhone or Android phone here on the left, depending on what kind of device you have. And again, this is the email that you actually get. You can see that your business page is there, your creative is there. Again, the disclaimer and all the information there is down at the bottom. Again, one of the best things about emails that come from Facebook is that people are going to open them a lot more than they open the emails that we do in traditional email marketing. Traditional email marketing, you're seeing on average, 7 to 10% opens. If you're lucky, on Facebook, people are opening more like 80 to 90%, just because everyone's on Facebook all the time. So again, great way to get some exposure there. Here's an example of automotive where we did buy one free. Buy one oil change, get one free up to 5 quarts. And we had a total of 64 offers at the end of the month. And again, it was $5.11 per claim offer. And here again, just to give you another example of the comments, people on this oil change said good deal. They tagged their friends. Someone said, I used this. They accept the offer with no problem. That dealer is awesome. So again, in automotive, millions of dollars are spent on online reputation. So this is also a great way for people to authentically kind of create positive reputations and reviews of your brand or business or your store online. And again, you can see how this looks from on a mobile device and via email. So here are just some other examples of more offers that we've run in the past. And you can see we've done, again, a lot of buy one, get one free oil changes. People generally, gravitate towards anything that's free. Sometimes our trade up deals here get, phenomenal value. Again, in automotive, we get 136 people claim this offer, and we targeted people who already owned, had vehicles that were over 3 years old for Chevrolet, truck, Dodge Ram, Ford truck, Toyota, GMC, Jeep, and a bunch of different makes and models. And again, here we're looking, you can do some pretty unique things. Nissan had a great incentive on get a jump start on life in your first new car. No prior credit needed. This one didn't do as well as the other ones, but pretty interesting that we had 18 people claim this offer. We had a certain age range. We also said that it was only targeting people that were either in school or just out of school. So again, the targeting there was pretty phenomenal. Here's another example of an oil change. But if you look at these total offer costs, I mean, they're gravitating between $1,000 and $1,500. Again, for the number of people that you're reaching and the number of people that actually press claim. And then you're seeing that many of those people are actually making it into the store and actually coming and redeeming that offer. The cost is a fraction of what you're doing on direct mail Again, direct mail, depending on what you're doing, between $5,000 and $30,000, depending on how many people you're trying to reach. And for a fraction of that cost, you're able to kind of test different ideas, different campaigns, and still get a ton of exposure for your incentive and for your store. So again, here's two other examples. This is $2,500 book value we already looked at. These are the examples that we kind of covered in more detail, but you can see the total offer costs were actually the same for each one. Here's one of my favorite examples. Here it was a simple 1995 oil change. 61 people claimed that offer. And you can see again that people tagged their friends and they said, road trip. They said, I need this. And again, every time someone does anything on this platform, all their friends get to know about it through the news feed. So again, phenomenal that this kind of deal can be implemented in a very social manner. So, the question then is, okay, this looks great. It's a phenomenal way, direct mail, but it's the social version of it. How does this fit in with the rest of what I'm doing on social media? So very quickly, I just wanted to cover that. One of my favorite quotes is, people don't buy based on logic. They buy based on emotion and they justify it with logic. And this was actually, by one of my favorite speakers. He's actually the original Wolf of Wall Street, and he's written some great books about sales tactics and marketing tactics. So here's the quick tactic. What else you should be doing on social is to make sure that you're providing an idea of who your customers are. Taking pictures of all your customers, with your products. You want to, instead of just preaching customer service, whether you're a gym or a LASIK eye center, or you're an ice cream shop, or really any kind of retail or a clothing department store, what you want to do is definitely take as many pictures as you can with customers. And of course, you want to do that very legally. You want to make sure you have to get a release form signed. You want to get, make sure you watermark it. Get the names. Tell them to check it out and share it. The question many people have is that will they like it? I feel shy. I don't want to ask them. It seems intrusive or it seems rude. And the truth is that you just have to get over it, because people love it. They love feeling special. They love, being featured on the Facebook page. Obviously, there's exceptions, but for the most part, people really like feeling like a mini celebrity. And taking pictures of your store and your products and your services with your customers is a great way to prove your customer experience and not just talk about it in all of our marketing material. Another way is, tell your story. Who are you? Your team. Use pictures. You want to say this person has worked here this number of years. You want to put a face on your service. You want to make sure you're putting your logo on all your pictures, so that if it gets shared with friends and people like it, every time it appears in someone's newsfeed, your logo or your brand is getting some recognition. But a great way for people to relate with your business is to understand who works there. I think no matter how digital we get and no matter how much we get glued into our phones and all these devices, people still like doing business with people that they like, and that could go anything from buying a car to where you get your clothes or where you take your kids and all these different things. So very important to try to tell your story of who you are and who your employees are and how you work with your customers. So, again, how to get it done is you definitely want to challenge yourself and say, hey, I don't want to just be on social media. I want to figure out exactly what I want to do. I want to build a meaningful community. And the other thing that we actually really encourage is doing something called choosing a social ambassador, at your business to gather your content. Because the truth is that it's a lot of work, to get these pictures and get the release form signed and have someone whose responsibility it is to think about what am I taking a picture of today? What can be on social media today? How am I making sure that people online are seeing what we're doing in person? And so, we call that person the social ambassador, and choosing it is something that's really important before you get to move forward. And then the question is that social ambassador, that person can help monitor our Facebook offers and make sure we're seeing that people who are redeeming the offer are coming in. And who that person can be is probably someone in a younger demographic, someone who's what we call a digital native, or someone who's really grown up, with cell phones and technology. Often, we find that someone who might just be as simple as a receptionist or a junior customer service representative, or just someone with a lot of energy and very excited to take on something like this, and who's probably pretty well versed in a social world, even just from a personal perspective. So I think those kind of people definitely really fit the bill and help you kind of keep moving this kind of program very forward. The other thing that we do is that we actually create an app called AutoSnap, and this is actually something that we resell. It's created by iAuto, and we actually partnered with them to sell this to customers, partners, and clients. And the idea is that this is really the behind the store approach to content. And different things that we can do on here is that it's actually a mobile app that allows you to take a picture. You can have this, everyone at your store, all your employees can have this app on their phone. It's available both on the App Store for Apple devices, as well as the Google Play Store for Android phones. And you can actually create and upload both videos and photos. You can do things like customer photos. You can do special events. You can do pictures of your product and services. You can actually see here there's a screenshot of a signature thing here. What's great is that we've actually included the signature release feature in here. So if you take a picture of a customer or a prospect and they're cool with it, you can press I want to press submit, and then it actually allows you to put in their name, and you actually hand the phone over to them, and they can actually sign their signature here, so that when we actually use that content to post, you're all legally fine, and you've kind of followed all those conventions. So a great way to kind of help maybe a lot of your employees are not very Web 2.0, and they're not very good at using a lot of the digital devices, but if they at least have a phone, they can easily get this app. They can take the pictures, and someone, your agency and someone like Stream can worry about doing all the heavy lifting of taking all that content, putting it out on your social networks and cropping it and putting the logo on it, and doing all those kind of things. So I talked about a lot of different things here, but one of the philosophies that we really encourage is that it's really the combination of things, right? It's having great Facebook offers sprinkled into a very authentic community, and that community is filled with a ton of original content and photos from your store and from your customers and people using your products or services, and that's all driven by having that one social ambassador, working with whoever your social media agency is or whoever your social media team is. And really, it's all these three things together that create a great social program. So, that's our webinar today. Again, if you have any questions, I definitely want to encourage you to Either you can email me at amol@streamcompanies.com. You can tweet at us at either Stream Companies or Amol Big W. You can go to facebook.com, and again, you can check out our website. This webinar will be posted as a replay, so you guys should get an email about that. Or again, you can check out our website under the column free stuff, and there you will be able to actually see a ton of other webinars that we have. So just very quickly showing you here, you can see some of our webinars here. We have a ton of free stuff like ebooks, around different things like SEO and paid search and display advertising, and we even have checklists if you just want to have checklists to kind of help you keep track of things. So we've created a ton of great content here that is very easily accessible to help you with your marketing campaigns. So I think there might actually be a question here, and we do have a few minutes, so I'm going to see if I can do it. So the question here is that you have to actually create the offer and then boost the offer in order to get the targeting. That's one way to do it. I mean, what we use is we use a tool called Power Editor, and that's actually attached with a tool called it's called Business Manager. And Business Manager is actually a tool for agencies, and we're able to access it at business.facebook.com. And you can see that here we can actually go through and find some of these targeting options. So you do have to create the offer on the page itself. And then I wouldn't say you need to boost the offer, because if you just boost the offer, you're not going to get any of the targeting and any of the techniques that we showed in our presentation, our webinar. You actually have to go into an ad manager or a Power Editor tool, and then you can actually do some of the targeting, whether it's an automotive maker models by Poke Data or other items. So, okay, great. So hopefully that answers your question, Seamus. And again, everyone, thank you for joining our November webinar here today. And we hope that you join our next webinar. Hopefully it should be next month sometime. We'll definitely send out an email on it. And again, please feel free to check out our replay that will be posted shortly on our website. Thank you, everyone.